following thoughts, opinions, stories, and expressions are meant for those who will appreciate them. If you don't, we hope you keep an open soul to encounter another here on 34 Questions. Peace. In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34, and tonight we have the Sno Fox back in the building. This is part 2 conversation with David Sno, and just want to welcome you back on the show, man. How you doing?
I appreciate it. Doing well. A lot of progress. A lot of life has happened. So I'm happy to be back. Happy to talk to you again, bro.
For sure. I'm happy to have you back on. Always good to touch base. So for the folks out there who may have seen his first episode or any other previous episodes, this one's going to be a little bit different since the Sno Fox has already answered my warm-up questions and my final stretch questions. We're just going to jump into the Wheel of Fate. So here it goes, how it looks. But before we do all that, man, I just want to ask you how you been the past couple of months. Any new things or any new news that you kind of came across that got your mind thinking, maybe inspired you? Yeah, man. Any new things going on with you?
Yeah, man. Since the last time we talked, I was really deep in like the idea phase, and so some of those ideas are really coming into fruition now. So it's pretty cool. Been linking in with some people in the community out here, and the whole point of me moving out from LA to Georgia was to try to build business and to link in, and to see that like finally taking place. It feels good, man. It feels really good. So yesterday I had a skate session with a guy who owns skate lessons. So check him out on Instagram or wherever, skate lessons. I went to skate with him. He showed me some stuff, and started my skate journey. So he wants to link in with what we're doing, and that's part of the progress. We can get into like the big stuff, but overall, a lot of things that I was in idea phase with are finally starting to come into the real world. So that's where we're at. It feels good.
That's what's up, man. And I just want to be sure I know what you're talking about. Are you kind of like thinking about or in the moving on with the mixed media space or community thing that you were talking about? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because so we want to have just to give like background for people who don't watch the last show. I want to get into mixed development. So one of the places in Gwinnett County is Gwinnett Place Mall, and they didn't make it through COVID. So basically, they're taking the mall and they're gonna renovate it and make it so that one, you can have affordable housing in there, which is crazy. Like you're taking a mall and you're gonna allow people to live there, and then they're gonna have office spaces and they're gonna have entertainment and of course shops. Right, so they're gonna rebrand the whole thing. They're doing this like cheesy thing where they're calling malls balls.
Sorry, yeah, I got you. That kind of reminds me of the Philippines. I don't know if there's some malls out there who have like this. They're building upwards, so then people come down to the level floor, and it's like, oh, okay, I have everything I need right here.
Mega mall. Right?
Is that a similar thing, like idea?
Yeah, in the Philippines.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you. You heard about I want to say it's Young Thug. I might have gotten the wrong rapper. You heard the news about Young Thug, and he has money to try to build his own city off 100 acres in Georgia. I guess that's the new thing. Yeah, it's like he's trying to develop that. So I don't know if maybe down there you'll find that connection. Yeah. Hey, brand new city. Like I'm sure he's open to some like fresh ideas. So
I wonder where he's looking. Okay, so since he's on that line, there's a piece of land. I'm not gonna say where, because there's a lot of land in Georgia. So I'm not gonna say where we were looking specifically, but it was 190 acres, and it's just gorgeous to be able to build, and it's close enough like to population to where we can. Well, what we wanted to do is build like a camp and a family-centric like community center. I'm not sure what Young Thug is thinking. Maybe like a content farm.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Go ahead.
So that's like what we're thinking. We want to do something to reskill people. So we want to have not just a community center where you go and like you have like all the rec stuff. Of course, we're gonna have like the sports. I'm gonna try to make as many things skatable, right? And so that's why I linked in with Mike from Skate Lessons, so that we can try to have like a full skateboard lesson, get more people into the community. I see a lot of kids skating, but it's intimidating when you're at like a skate park and you see all these big ramps and stuff. So if we can have, here's the thing, there's no indoor skate parks in Georgia. So that's the thing, like it rains here all the time, it's super humid, the weather, like you don't get good weather all the time, and you don't want to skate in the humidity for more than a couple hours. Like also get this whole shirt, you know what I mean? So to have an indoor skate shop, be sick. To have an indoor skate park, like everything, with my wife wants to open a crystal lounge, so I'm like, why don't we have a crystal lounge and then a kind of fantasy factory thing over there? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you have the cafe, you can hang out, you can go skate with your people, right? Skating's in the Olympics now, so we got to have people coming out of Georgia. Like, why not?
For sure. It's one of those things where, like, you know, if you build it, they will come, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, you got all. So cheesy,
Yeah.
but it's gonna work.
Yeah.
They got to do something for retail.
No, for sure. Well, that's great, man. I'm glad to hear that, you know, you're feeling like you're making steps and you're progressing. I think that's a lot of people kind of struggle with that sometimes. You know, they have an idea, but then so much time passes and they don't feel like, you know, there's any juice behind it anymore. Or they lose that motivation. So I'm really happy that, you know, you're seeing your idea coming through a little bit of fruition as you keep pushing for it. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, sending those vibes, man. Sending those vibes.
I appreciate it.
No doubt. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add before we jump into the wheel?
I guess a quick plug for my wife. So
Go for it.
well, what I do is, so during the day I'm a business analyst. So I look at what businesses are doing. I try to help them think of verticals. I try to think of how they can basically make their business more efficient or more effective, whatever it is that they do, right? So one of the things that my wife does is she makes candles. She makes like meditation type candles. So this is a pyramid. So we have the platonic solids. I have a burnt up dodecahedron right here. And then what else do I got? Got an isosahedron.
Oh snap! Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so she makes them in all the different chocolate colors. But what we're doing is we're taking like a candle holder. So this is a prototype that I'm working on. So we used to have like a whole, we got the Glowforge right back there. And so we used to laser cut this as a box. But I'm using it to hold this, which is a pentagon plate. It's like a crate, right? And we put the candle on top. So any freestanding candle that doesn't have like a jar around it. And what we're trying to do is figure out how we can get this system to basically use 100% of your wax. So typically you buy a luxury candle for like $50, $70, $80, and you don't even use the whole thing because it burns right through the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it literally looks like that.
Yeah.
And then what do you do with the rest of it? You just toss it. But it's beeswax. I can turn it into skate wax. I can do that. But as like somebody else who's just into luxury candles, not gonna do that. You know what I mean? So this is kind of what we're thinking. I linked up with somebody in my area who does ceramics. And so instead of doing wood boxes, instead of doing like the wood, which is, you know, subjected to fire, is bad. So I don't want to do wood. So I'm trying to have her make a custom ceramic base, and then I'm going to be cutting out metal tops, like different designs. And what happens is it'll just melt down, and you have more candles.
Gotcha. Okay. It's the sustainability, man. Yeah.
Exactly. And so the smaller versions that we had, you know, they just go into like these candles, right? And so you can see this one's kind of messy, but this was like 3 different candles on top, and it burned down, and you're just basically reusing your candle. you're getting like, let's say out of this one, you're getting basically 1.5 cans. You're burning this whole thing, and then it'll fill about half of this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just put another one on top and just wait till this is full, you got a full candle right there. On the dodecahedrons, the volume is so big that you actually get 3 candles. You get this one, and then it'll fill up 2 jars.
Damn. Yeah.
So crazy, right? So you're really getting like, if you're buying luxury candles, you might as well get your money's worth, or at least in a cool way too. So
No, for
that's
sure.
what I'm trying to figure out right now for my wife, so we can we want to do either a Kickstarter or some kind of thing to get it out there. But that's what it is, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I think you're gonna find a lot of people who want to do that, and who are looking for ways to try to use that wax that they lose when they burn candles.
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
I was gonna say, I looked at a lot of like candle reviews, and it's people who buy, let's say something popular, Yankee Candle, right? Yankee candles, or the Bed Bath & Beyond candles in the jars. We're gonna make it so that you can fit those candles inside the bottom base and just keep reusing those bases. So if you have those jars sitting around, it's like either you burn them all down, and then what do you do with the jar? Yeah. So we can have you start reusing those jars.
I gotcha. And it seems like you're an idea guy, and you get creative with the solution. So I got something for you. Maybe you can think of a solution and capitalize on this, dog. But so I used to work at a dispensary, and one of the biggest wastes that we always had were the small jars that the weed would be in. And like once you like, I mean, I can't tell you
plastic.
No, they were glass. They were like glass jars. I mean, it depends on the brand and everything. And maybe things have changed since I worked there maybe a couple years ago. But I believe there's still a lot of companies out there using the glass, because it's the way it looks and all classy and stuff. But yeah, man, that was one thing that I felt like, I remember we were trying to do like some kind of recycling program where if like our clients would bring back their jars, they would get like some kind of thing. But even then, we didn't know what to do with them. And that was one thing that I see it in a like creative artsy way. So I was like, maybe I can make some kind of installation with all these jars with all like super small things. Never got around to it. But yeah, man, especially as like the legalization of marijuana kind of like grows, I think it's kind of like, the problem with Amazon cardboard boxes, like, they're everywhere, and we need to find something to do with them. So yeah, I don't know, maybe down the future when it starts becoming something now out there near you, that you can kind of see like, oh wait, we could reuse these for things, especially maybe even for candles.
Exactly.
But yeah,
as easy as that.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole market that does it for wine bottles, right? They just go around to bars and they say, all right, you guys are done with your vodka bottle, you're done with all your liquor bottles. And then you see the people on YouTube or Etsy that just put the string around them and, take the top off. But they put soy wax in there and it's a candle. So, I mean, definitely you can do that for the weed industry.
Yeah.
Then you have some nice weed kit because you have a little candle from the actual industry.
Yeah.
And that's the right way to do it, because you're keeping it in there. And when you, I don't know, something about smoking with a live fire, you know what I mean? Like rather than taking it from like a wick or from like a propane thing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you have some hemp and you take it from a live fire, you can connect with the connect with your element.
The hemp wick for sure. Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. Like, we could just get those jars in smoke shops, so you don't have to necessarily have to go into a dispensary to get one. Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I just want to throw that out there.
If somebody wanted to put the effort into it, you could really just set up like a giant boiler and just have somebody collect jars from local glass shop or local dispensaries and really fill them. Somebody could really make a business out of that.
Yo, telling you, I don't know the means, I don't got the connections, but maybe someone who sees this, if you're out there listening, Do something
Great idea.
with
It's
it.
all about the execution. Who wants to execute?
Yeah. So true. But yeah, man, you ready to jump into these questions, or?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, bro. Here we go. This is the Wheel of Fate. Sometimes I ask people to choose their destiny by choosing their own numbers, but if they're up for it, we take a spin. So here we go. First number for you is
Ooh, right on that line. 22.
22. Would you like to go easy, medium, or hard? I think last time you were going straight to hard, so how would
Let's
you
go
like
medium.
Medium. Medium 22 is okay. What do you think about cancel culture?
About what? Cancel culture?
Cancel culture, yeah.
Oh man, it's tough because everything has to come with context, and sometimes things just don't. You just don't have enough context, and people go nuts. Cancel culture. Well, I understand. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I understand. Like, some people need to get canceled. Sometimes,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But man, to the level that it's gone, I don't know about that. And how do you really even check it?
Yeah.
Because how many people does it really take to just get somebody fired? It's not that many. So that's tough. Cancel culture.
Has there anyone like that you particularly like enjoyed or liked, but then ended up being somebody that like, oh man, damn.
Oh, they got canceled?
Yeah.
Not that I can think of. I'm not like too heavy into keeping up with social stuff, so maybe somebody I did like has gotten canceled, but not too sure.
For sure. Are you the kind of person who can separate the art from the artist, or it kind of goes together,
Kind of like how people are like Michael Jackson's king, but he also may be shady. Like, kind of, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly like that,
That? Okay.
Yeah.
Can appreciate. That's tough. I mean, for exactly like Michael Jackson, right? I can appreciate his musicality and his genius. You can hear it in his music. But they're like, yeah, Michael Jackson's a weirdo. I'm like,
yeah.
At some point, he did kind of go too far, where it's just like, okay, you kind of see that he did, You know what I mean? I don't think he would. Well, I don't even know. I didn't know. So.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's hard to speak on someone we have no idea about.
Yeah.
But I mean, similar sense, like, I think Michael Jackson was also weird, but not in a way that like he crossed some kind of line. I mean, that's just my personal opinion of the fact that, like, he was a dude who kind of had no childhood and wanted to kind of rekindle that and stay a kid forever, which for a lot of folks, that's kind of weird. But who doesn't want, if they have the means to, like, who doesn't want to be a kid forever? But yeah, like, I can't say anything about that stuff because I do not know. But yeah, man, I mean, people might hate me for this, but like, and maybe I don't know if I'm making the decision for myself at this point, but R. Kelly, there's some songs that I still like, like from him too, and he seems to be more of a person. That's me and my pop song, man. My pops like love that song, and he, It
ruined it when he started finding everything out about it.
Yeah, and he seems to be a person where I can't separate the art from the artist, because like now when I hear it, I just have it in the back of my head. But Michael Jackson, it's like, oh, I don't know, like I can still
we
like.
give him grace.
What?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. Why is it that we give some people grace and some you just really can't?
Yeah.
I think it's all context.
True.
Everybody. So I try to subscribe to this mindset where you got to treat everybody the same, which is different. Right? That's kind of the only way to go about it now, because everybody's so sensitive about when you talk in generalities. They'll dig and they'll ask for the detail, right? So I just found that, hey, just treat everybody as who they are, and then just go about it like that. I try not to go beyond that.
You said treat everybody the same but differently. Yeah. Like, what does that look like for you? And you said, treat everyone as the individual, but yeah, if you can kind of elaborate. I think that's how I like to approach things. But for the folks out there who might get confused by that, how could you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
There was a point in my life where I had this voice in my head that said, society probably wants you to do it this way, or I think that society wants me to do it this way, or I'll be judged if I do it this way. And so I understand that people go through that also. And I think that when we start to say like, okay, I'm going to treat, it's like the whole thing with race. Try to treat, like if you're going to approach any race with a certain type of bias on how you're going to treat them, like, oh, I'm going to try to be nice because I know that they're treated bad. Like, that's not actually being authentic, right? So I try to come with a blank slate where it's like, I just want to hear what you got today. Like, where are you at today? Because it might be different from where you were at 3 months ago. You might be a completely different person. People go to therapy and I'm like, oh, okay, so, those are helping because you're completely different. So I can't treat you how, you know what I mean? Like how I thought I should have treated you. Mm-hmm. I have to just treat you as if, you're changing too. And so part of explaining that is I just use that saying of treat everybody the same, which is different. Because they're all just coming from somewhere different. Everybody has a different story. Anytime I find myself getting into trouble when I try to make any blanket like generalities now, you just get stuck in it, or you argue about like some branch thing. So I'm just like, no, let's talk about the specific.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, we can't make generalities because, it's like we're assuming things a lot, right? But I'm going to ask you, because you know how some people say, oh, there's only 2 types of people in the world or 3 types of people in the world. Yeah. If you were going to make something like that for yourself, what line are you creating? Are you saying, all right, these are these people and these are these people? If you had to, what would you say?
I had to?
Yeah.
There are people who either think that part of me wants to go with the saying that people either think that the world is going to be against them or for them, and it really is up to them. Part of me wants to say, people who either learn to believe in themselves or people who just kind of stop or like don't pursue it, right? Mm-hmm. It's like they have a little glimpse, but a lot of people go through life just always thinking about that glimpse. Hey, what if? And then you end up finding yourself in a not so happy spot. I've been there a couple times where I had forks in the road in different careers, and I'm like, what if I took this one? And I sat in that funk for a while. So part of me wants to say, like, there's 2 people. I'm either in that mode where I don't believe in myself fully, or I do, and I go for it. And then there's the part of me that's like, because Albert Einstein, I think it was Einstein who said, you're either going to view the world as if it's for you or against you, somewhere along those lines.
That's what's up. I didn't know about that saying from Einstein, but
yeah. And that kind of hits me. I guess if I had to go, 2 types of people in this world.
I gotcha. What are your thoughts on there's no try? Is there no try for you? Yeah. And there's only do.
That's interesting because getting that deep, right? There's no try, there's only do. It's like, I think there is a try, because there's always I don't know. It's just a more specific definition, right? I'm trying it for the first time. I don't see anything wrong with using try.
Okay, gotcha.
But to do sounds very intentional. you know.
Hmm.
It's like when I can go play basketball, I can go shoot a ball, but if I go in, like I'm not necessarily, I guess I'm just like trying to have fun. I don't know how. Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is if I go in with the intention that I want to make a free throw, then I might actually do something different rather than just like, I'm just going to go shoot around, you know, exercise.
Gotcha.
Versus go do it. I'm going to go try basketball. I'm not going to go actually like do it.
That's interesting, man. Like I like how you said the intention is the difference between trying and doing. Because you know, for me, you know, people say, "Oh, you're doing it. You're doing a podcast," and I tell folks all the time, "No, I'm just trying. I'm trying it out. I'm, you know, hoping that it works out." But
trying
I do
this method, trying that.
Yeah. But you know, when I think about my intention, then it does change that for me. Like it makes me, it doesn't feel like I'm trying anymore, because I do have intention behind this, and it makes me feel like, okay, well, if I see it from that point of view, I feel more comfortable saying, well, I'm doing it, you know. So yeah, I think you just helped me out as far as, you know, feeling that confidence in myself, because there is intention. Yeah. I mean, for yourself, we kind of talked about this off camera, but do you feel like you're trying skateboarding, or you're doing skateboarding?
I think I'm at the point where I think when I was younger, when I started skating, I was trying to be a skater, and I think now I'm actually like doing the motions. I'm doing the thing to try to actually feel solid about the trick for myself, not just like, yeah, cool points if I get this, I get this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not just trying to keep up. Dude, my cousin was my hero growing up, and he was sick at every sport. And skating, and dude, he was sick at skating. And so, yeah, I think back then I was just trying to keep up with everybody else, you know. But now I'm like, I don't care. I just want to skate because it's fun. And so now I feel like I'm doing it for the right reason, for the right intentions. I want to go out, ollie over anything I can.
Yeah. I mean, I could never ollie, bro. So you already got me beat, and probably half of all the people who skate out there. I was more of a cruiser, you know. I just like feeling the wind in my face. But yeah, it's definitely fun. Especially you got the smooth wheels on really nice roads. You're gliding. But other than that, though,
have you gone snowboarding?
Oh no, I was just talking about skating.
No, have you gone snowboarding?
I have maybe twice or 3 times in my life.
Okay.
Always have really dead legs right after. But yeah. You know what the thing is, I'm not particularly talented in those things, like anything on wheels or like skating or skiing or skating, ice skating. But I always feel like I could hold my own and kind of like, well, I can get from point A to point B, and that's enough for me to enjoy.
Yeah,
but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, going cruising on a snowboard, that's probably one of the more exhilarating feelings I've ever felt. But skating and just cruising on some jelly wheels, that's nice, man. That's like, I'm in control. I'm not really having to bomb this hill, not having to stop myself from hitting anybody else.
Yeah, you got the good tunes, you know. Yeah. Well, do you have a skate song? Like, what if you're gonna cruise on your board?
Man.
What you listening to?
It depends. Am I going for the 100th try kind of thing? Like that's like Rage Against the Machine right there.
I got you.
If I'm chilling, these days it's like, do you know the band Laney? Lany?
L-A-N-Y?
Yeah, Lany.
No. I'm gonna check them out. Yeah.
I think they're from Malibu. They got a dope vibe. St. Lucia. That's like.
That's the song. Like St. Lucia.
St. Lucia is the band.
Oh snap!
St.
Okay.
Lucia is the band. My favorite song right now is St. Lucia, "Dancing on Glass."
All right.
Yeah, man, "Dancing on Glass." If you listen to it, you're gonna be like, "That's a trip. That's a trip." It sounds like such a happy song.
I'll check it out, because now I feel like there's a curveball there where like sounds like such a happy song. It's like, oh man, it must be deep, really. But I'll check that out. I don't know if you've been seeing my 34 jams that drop every Tuesday, but yeah, you might see that pop up eventually, maybe next week. But yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm gonna give it another spin real quick. Here we go. We got.
Ooh, gonna go for a hard one.
22 hard. Yeah, man. 22 back to back. Is that what we do?
That's telling me things are in alignment.
Yeah. All right, man. This one's a little tough, so feel free to only speak as much as you like. But your question is, when was the last time you felt like you hit rock bottom?
Ooh, rock bottom. Rock bottom in all of life? Man, not too long ago.
Word.
Yeah, before I moved out to Georgia, I was still doing wedding photography, but I knew my heart wasn't there. So I knew I had to find something else. And my sister called me up, and she was in Georgia, and she said, why don't you come out here and check it out? Like, see if there's something out here that you like. And yeah, and she ended up giving me a room. I packed my little car up, and I only took what I had. But the whole way, I just felt like, okay, so for that moment of time when I was trying to figure out, was I gonna go? That was my rock bottom. That was like, man, what am I doing? I really gotta figure out my life. Because I just got out of the Navy. I did 5 years as a wedding photographer, and I was like, I put so much time into that I really wanted it to succeed. But at the end of the day, I just wasn't happy. You hit that point, and then you either have, I think it was my grandma's death that gave me that mortality check. Like, hey, your life is your life, and you gotta start living it. So yeah, that was like, it's always tough to make that step into the unknown and then to pursue it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, once you make a decision, you're still in the shit, and you still gotta walk through it. You still gotta get through it. And going through that, I mean, yeah, it was tough mentally. It was tough financially. It was tough to like even mentally handle that with the PTSD and like everything just weighing on me. I would say that was a dark time. Yeah. Go for it.
Oh, I was gonna ask, what was it about Georgia that kind of felt right for you?
It was growing up in LA. I didn't really ever think about it. I always thought that I was just gonna stay in LA. I thought that I was gonna be some big shot by this age. But when I got out here and I just started driving, and rather than seeing just all buildings and power lines, and like every tree in LA was planted there. So it's coming out here and just seeing going on the freeway and it's like just all green. Waking up and going on a drive, like when I was working at a bar at the time, right? So going there and driving home at night or driving to the bar it was beautiful. And I didn't feel like I was redlining. I didn't feel like I was competing with the person next to me. I felt like I can just kind of take a breath and figure my shit out. Like, I just had air to do it for whatever reason, right? And some people just need that. Like, you just gotta move places. Some people, for whatever reason, just vibe with some place. And I think the city is a little too busy, just a little too busy. So, yeah.
I got you. I mean, honestly, I've been feeling some type of way about it. I have this fantasy of living in a small town where everybody knows everybody, and I could kind of feel like I'm making a difference in that way. Where go to the grocery store, I see the same people, get to know their lives, they know my lives. I think I have that fantasy because I've only lived in a city my whole life, and because I haven't seen or experienced that other lifestyle. To me, it makes me think like, oh, maybe it is better, even though I'll never know unless I try it out for myself. But yeah, I don't like I don't know if you ever watched Friday Night Lights, but I'm like, damn, what if I was a high school football coach, and everybody just kind of like, that's what the town's all about and shit like that.
Local hero.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess in a sense, doing it that way, what appeals to me, and maybe one day I'll be able to experience it, but right for now, I'm trying to survive here in the Bay, but it's expensive, and I just got to be really focused on myself and not really compare myself with like everybody else that's out here that through my eyes may look like they're succeeding, but maybe they're struggling just as much as I am, and they feel like they got to push themselves just so they can be at the same level as the folks around them as well. But yeah, that's just that's where I'm at.
You got to check your metrics. Make sure you're not comparing yourself for the wrong reasons too, because that'll hurt you. That'll hurt you mentally.
Oh, so. Yeah, man. I mean, I think like for me, the biggest, I guess, way that has affected me as far as comparisons go is even with like my close friends close group of homies, past few years, we've had that phase of kind of like doing our own thing and spreading out and not keeping in touch as much as before. And I try not to compare myself to them, because we're all in different industries. We're all got different dreams and different goals. But I have to admit, at some level, it does make me feel like, damn, I'm falling behind, or damn, I'm not, keeping up. And, it's hard for me to be a part of their lives, because their lives are changing, or, they're building families while I'm out here, still doing the bachelor thing. And so, yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how that affects us, Any advice like for someone that may be stuck comparing themselves with other folks? What would you say?
Man, I struggle with that too, but some of the things that I try to think about is my idea of free and freedom is different. It looks different, but ultimately we're trying to get to the same feeling, right? We're trying to get to that feeling of we have fulfillment, something that we derive happiness from, joy. So I try not to look at like those key markers anymore. I feel like those were put on us by past generations of like, you should probably have a family by this age, and you should be at this level. You should probably have about this much in your bank account, this much in your 401k, right? And I kind of don't subscribe to any of that stuff anymore. Man, is that good advice? Probably not. Like, just drop all of it. I don't know.
Well, but that's the thing, right? It depends on who you're talking to. Like to someone like me who maybe has the same kind of value, like that's great advice. But then for someone who maybe don't see the same thing, they might, that's not a great way to to frame it.
Don't care about. Well, of course I care about what they think, and it's like, oh man. Yeah, try not, because like I used to think that I was gonna have a family by 22 and being in a career. Honestly, I thought I was gonna be in financial services for the rest of my life. And that's not really at all what I really wanted to do. I was just telling myself that because I was comparing myself to a lot of people around me. And they were successful, and I was like, okay, like they got it, and they learned how to get a hold of their emotions and get their life together and get a grown up. So that might be a good path for me too. But then as I started to walk on their path, essentially, it just didn't feel like my own. And I was like looking around like, I think mine's over there.
Yeah.
I take another step and I'm like, kind of deviating, but you're thinking about it. So I try not to, the more I look at other people's stuff, it like makes me take a step away from my own, And so I try not to do that anymore. I try not to, right? Of course we end up scrolling and we're like, yo, that's dope. Yeah, that's dope, I want that.
I've been muting a lot of folks on social media. I don't know if you've been doing that, but anytime I see something and I catch myself comparing myself, I mean, it's nothing against the person, it's just more so like, damn, I gotta really mute this person, because it doesn't make me feel good sometimes just to compare, even though I know that's not the intention behind it. But that piece of me, and maybe it's because of the older generations kind of put that, because I think they did it for themselves, right? Like the older generations kind of did that for themselves. That they feel like that's the right way. So trying to change my habits and be more intentional with what I see on social media, I guess. So hopefully some things that are gonna help me. But you gave me a new tattoo idea. I'm probably gonna get something that says definition of happiness, and then like have my own definition just to remind myself, Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's gonna be a thing, man. Thank you for that. Honestly, that's one of the biggest reminders. What's up?
Send me a pic.
Oh, for sure. I got you. Once I figure it out, I also need to really solidify what my definition of happiness is, So like I know for sure this is what is what matters to me the most. But yeah, for sure, man. Well,
on that note, I'll give you one more.
Go for it.
Are you familiar with Brene Brown?
Brene Brown sounds super familiar, but go ahead.
She does a very like her TED talk on vulnerability like blew up. So if you just look up Brene Brown, like TED talk vulnerability, thinking about your happiness, she would get you on the right track. If all you do is just listen to her TED talk, you'll get lost.
All right. I'll definitely check that out. Damn. On the subject of TED Talks, I don't know if you ever seen this one, and I feel bad I don't remember the lady's name. It's probably not going to make any sense, but she was talking about trauma, and last time I spoke to you, I was working for the self-driving company, I believe, and being the person that I am, and I keep hopping jobs, I actually work with students now at a school. Sick. Yeah. I felt like that was more in tune with my happiness, is to work with students. And there's students that are a little rough around the edges and have been through a lot of stuff in their lives, and let's say trauma, right? And the lady who was giving the presentation about trauma had this whole analogy of trauma being a bear, and like everyone's scared of bears or whatever, but if you're seeing a bear all the time, then it's like your body starts getting used to it. Your flight and fight, like chemicals in your brain, they don't fire off anymore, and you're just used to it. And that's what I guess what happens with trauma is that, like, the bear is just there all the time, so you don't even think it's trauma anymore. It's just like, oh, that's what real life is. And I don't know, because you brought up TED Talks, and I thought about my kids. That was like something that I had connected in my mind. But that one is also good if if you know anybody out there that might find that talk valuable, check them out. Yeah. Oh, for sure, man, for sure.
I was in a submarine. I had a bad childhood.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll check it out.
Yeah. If I find it, I'll shoot it to you. I'm sure I could. Right. And you can shoot me the Brene Brown one too.
Will do.
I'm gonna give this another spin. See where we land. We have about 15 minutes left again. Cool. I want to say thanks for stopping by the second time. I think conversations are great, man. Maybe next time you can choose the questions to ask me for part 3 or something.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That'd be a little twist to it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Here we go. Fourteen. Cool. Where would you like to go? Easy, medium, hard?
Let's go. I haven't done easy. Let's throw an easy one out there.
All right, here we go. If you could get one answer from the universe, what would you ask?
One answer from the universe. I'm trying to choose my words carefully.
Yeah, man. Take your time. I know. I mean, you're up there on stage.
That magic one.
Yeah. Like you get one freebie. Is what it's gonna be.
I'm like trying to cheat in my head.
It's like asking. You get one wish. You ask for 5 wishes. I mean, I'll let you know if it flies or not.
Honestly, I'm trying to have fun with it too. So I'm thinking like, let me just go with what's in my head. How exactly do we how exactly do we go between dimensions? We'll go with
Ooh, my gosh. So this means you believe there are other dimensions, or like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like what? Like what do you mean by different dimensions? Like, let me ask you that.
Okay, so we're living in a three-dimensional plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously a fourth dimension because we have time space. Going beyond that, I don't know all the dimensions, but they say there's up to, I think they're trying to define like an 11 right now. So I mean, like, how do we go between that and think about like Interstellar? That tripped me out.
Yeah, Interstellar was dope. Yeah.
Where do we go in our dream? Is that not another dimension? How is it that we just like our body lays down, we're doing 0, but our brain, like, is that just in our brain? Is that I mean, could this just right outside of our shell be another dimension? Is that possible?
Yeah.
How do we move between those? If I can just, because there's people who can astral project. Where are they going?
Astral projection. All right, like that is something I would love to learn. I think you can, right? If you spend years and years and years perfecting it, you could kind of do it. And that idea is, what's that?
I don't think it takes years. I think it's really up to you.
Like how focused I can be, right? Like
you gotta put your body in the right state too. It just, there's things that'll make it easier, right? Practices that will make it easier. Certain things like our pineal gland is the thing that's supposed to connect us to consciousness or source, right? It's our spiritual connection. There's a lot of things that we do to it that calcify it, and it just messes up our connection. So cleaning that up, probably the best step you can do if you want to try to astral project.
Interesting. Yeah, that's definitely something I'll look into more. Are you a big dreamer? Like you talk about the dream dimension. You feel like you dream a lot?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think dreams mean anything, or are they just something that kind of our imagination running wild at night?
Sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're fun. Like sometimes they really, I think you're just trying to solve something for yourself. It's a very direct communication with yourself, right? What other ways do you really communicate with yourself? You think, and thinking is just conversation with yourself. So when else are you doing that? When you're sleeping, right? You're having kind of they say that, because I mean, scientists say they don't know why we sleep. They don't officially know why, because how can we really, what are we testing that against? They say that it's to reorganize, the stuff that we've gone through, and they say that they can see, it's moving stuff from the short term to the long term memory, things like that. But as far as like dreams, yeah, like sometimes they're just, as far as my dreams, I don't know about your dreams, sometimes they're just for fun, sometimes they're to scare me, sometimes they're like, you know what I mean? I've had, in 5th grade, the first time I had a flying dream, I was like, that's awesome. I'm gonna try that again tonight. And then I did. And the next night I was like, I wonder if I can do that again. And I did. And I did it for like a week straight. And then at that point I was like, you know what? This same dream, maybe controlling it isn't a good thing. And I started thinking about it, and I started having a lot of lucid dreams. So I used to be able to just like super control them. The first time I flew, it was when Mario 64 came out. Remember the triple jump?
Oh yeah.
So I'm running through the blacktop doing the triple jump. Flying around.
That was in your dream that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so I did that for basically a week straight of just flying around my neighborhood. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, are you still like dreaming on a nightly basis, or do they come and go, or?
They come and go. I don't get to sleep a lot lately, so it's like I don't know if maybe I'm dreaming. I'm not remembering a lot of them. Yeah. But typically, if I get a good night's sleep, I'll have a dream.
For sure. I'll tell you a couple of dreams I had recently that I can remember off the top of my head. There's this one where it felt like it was like 4th of July-ish type thing, right? And then like, because it was a celebration and it was me, a couple friends out in like this barnyard-ish area, like corn stalks and there's a barn. And then you see the UFO in the sky and we're like, oh shit, it's aliens, they're here. Like, oh, we're so excited that they're here. And then they like land they land next to us, like around the barn, and while like the crowd is super far away, so it's just me and my friends at this barn, and this like ship lands, and we're like, oh snap, we're gonna meet them, we're the first people to meet them, and they just start shooting at us. And I remember thinking to myself like, oh my god, like my excitement of wanting to meet these aliens just switched, because like they're trying to kill us, and like and we we're running away. So that was one that made me think like, damn, that could be a movie. And then all my dreams are movies to me, man. I love it when I wake up feeling like I was like completely entertained. I don't know if I'm controlling it or not, but I'll wake up like, damn, that was a great show or something.
As you're describing it, the person like, okay, so a cast, you're with your friends, right?
Yeah.
The person who, for whatever reason, I saw next to you is like Seth Rogen.
You hear that, Seth? We need to make this happen, bro.
We gotta make this alien movie.
Yo, and like I'm sure, oh my god, Seth, that group of homies, right? Seth Rogen and his homies doing an alien invasion movie would be kind of funny. That'd be dope.
This is the end, right?
Similar, yeah, similar. And then this crazy one though recently, and it sucks that I can't remember fully. But I do remember I was in an elevator that was going up, and then somebody, like, it stopped, and then somebody like rushed to the door and was trying to get in, like, let me in, and I'm the only one in the elevator. And at first in the dream I was like, I don't know if I should let you in, you're kind of scaring me right now. But somehow the dude gets in, and then the door shuts, and we're sitting there like, oh, like, do you know what's gonna happen next? And then it just starts going up again. But as it's going up, it flips upside down like that, and like we flip with it, so now it's going down,
How's your gravity? Are you on the top, or are you standing up?
Well, as it goes up, our like, I'm standing normal, and then all of a sudden like I fall, so like on my head, so then like I have to stand up the other way. And so that kind of happened, and I was trying to like, I woke up thinking like, what did that mean? Or like, and that person that came in all panicking, like he was running away from something, was in this elevator with me, and like, yeah. I mean, those are very brief, maybe 10 seconds of my dreams, but yeah, that's what stood out to me. And
if that's the part that stood out to you, that's the part to investigate, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's something I would like to. I mean, I know there's people out there who can read dreams and all that stuff, but then again, like, I end up making that definition or interpretation myself, right? So yeah. Well, anyways, just want to share that with you. But yeah. Oh, sleep paralysis. What do you think of that? Is it more physical than is it physical and less supernatural?
I definitely, okay, so when I first started learning about astral projection and really trying, I would get to that sleep paralysis all the time, and that like feeling of just, I guess I got comfortable there because I was already used to doing traditional meditation where you can sit there for a few hours and kind of just have a clear kind of consciousness or like thought stream happening.
Yeah.
But sleep paralysis is definitely different where you're like, okay, my body is actually like absolutely relaxed. It's different from for me, it's different than like the meditative state where I'm still pretty aware because I'm typically sitting or lying down and conscious of my weight on the bed or the floor. But with like sleep paralysis, I'm trying to just absolutely be knocked out as far as physically, and then mentally still be there so that I can project. So I've hit sleep paralysis a lot, and to be able to like, I don't know how else to describe it, but you're just like, yeah, I want to get up, but I cannot. Like I want to move my hand, but it will not.
Yeah, I mean, is it something you embrace, or you kind of like, if you feel that, you kind of try to do everything to get out of it?
At first I used to, you do this, you know what I mean? So you chitter or whatever to try to get out of it. But as you get more comfortable with it, then you can kind of sit in it and ease out or wake up. Maybe that's not the same for everybody, but at least that's how I am. If I hit that point where I really, like my body's about to fall asleep, and either I'm gonna fall asleep with it, or I'm actually gonna be awake and conscious and can either lucid dream or hopefully fully project. A lot of the times, so my experience with astral projection is I've only ever really believed that I've done it once completely. The other attempts, like I said, I've tried so many different times, and like ritually too. Like I tried to get my habits right. I tried to really like feed my body right, decalcify my pineal gland and everything. But I would get to the point where it felt, this is how I'm going to describe it, I felt like I can get my legs and my torso out, but I would get stuck on my head and it just wouldn't go. And I can understand it because I'm an overthinker. So it's like, I just wasn't, when I did it that one time, it wasn't necessarily on me. It was at a sound bath. And we were doing breath work as well. And I was kind of guided and then kind of pushed out. And I kind of took control from there. But as far as every time that I tried to do it on my own, I think I was just too much in my head. And I felt I was very much in sleep paralysis stage and ready to feel my body lift. I feel like my everything was just kind of lifting up, and I just would get stuck here. Like, yeah, something doesn't want to leave yet, and I couldn't. Yeah.
That's maybe it's just waiting for you to try it another time in a better part of your life.
Yeah.
Who knows? And I mean, I feel like, seniors probably could use that the most if they're open to it, because then, their body kind of fails them. But if they have their mind, they can still go anywhere, do anything. Yeah. Well, man, want to say thank you again for coming on. Had fun again. I hope you did too as well. Any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here?
Oh, man, just appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation. We have a good time. Anything else? No, I mean, I'll make progress and then we'll have something to talk about.
For sure. Real quick, how do we go and support the candle business? Is there a website that we can order from, or?
So she doesn't have them up individually yet, but we do have a website and it's getting developed. It's phoenixnfox.com. You can go to that same Instagram or go to SnoFox7 Instagram and then just follow me. And I think I have a link in my bio. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Once we really have everything solid, we'll probably do a full scale like campaign kind of launch. But if you guys want to support, I know my wife is doing Instagram lives. So just on Phoenix and Fox Instagram, she's doing like sets of crystals and candles. So yeah, get us some diaper money.
I got you, man. I got you. But yeah, let me thank you one more time, and I want to thank the folks out there. If you're checking this out on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you're checking it out, appreciate y'all as well. If you liked it, please like it. If you loved it, please subscribe and share. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love. And we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace. And I think this is new. This is like my end credit scene with like, the credits rolling. But yeah, man, if I don't know if your wife is open to it too, but I'd love to have her on as a guest if she'd like it. But yeah, just throwing it out there. And if you know anybody else that might find the questions insightful and like this experience valuable, let me know. You could send me their IG and I can reach out to them when scheduling opens up. But yeah, man, thank you again for being a part of this. And if we do a part 3, I'll let you know in advance. And if you have any questions you'd like to throw out there, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been getting more requests, or like when I have guests come on, they're like, oh, I wish we could have asked you questions. So that's why I'm kind of opening it up a little bit more. Yeah. But
I got a boy who does a lot of interviews, and maybe we can do something where you can get on his show too and get you some exposure.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be great. I would appreciate that.
He's the guy I've been dating with.
Oh, word. And
yeah.
Oh yeah, what was his thing? It was skating lessons.
So that